Richard, it's that time of year again. It's 2018, and it's time for the Podcast Awards.
Yay! It's our, or as we like to call it, the season of disappointment.
Well, it's our third year running, Richard, and if you get the opportunity, please go to podcastawards.com and vote for your favorite podcast, The Language of Bromance, for the Comedy Podcast Award and the People's Choice Award.
There's one thing we pride ourselves on. It's being the people's choice. And you know what? Sometimes the people's choice isn't the most popular choice, but it's the choice that we have to live with. And I'm not naming names, but we could be that choice.
And also, if you're on there and you're looking around, please throw a nomination for my other podcast, Strange Indeed, as part of the TV and film category. So please remember just to go out to podcastawards.com and vote for Language of Bromance for comedy and People's Choice, and Strange Indeed for TV and film.
Definitely. Do both of those. As hard as it is for me to say, I guess you could do the other. But do one. Definitely do ours. Definitely nominate us, because we are the podcast. We're not the podcast that you need. We're the podcast that you deserve.
So remember, podcastawards.com.
What is up, everybody? I, of course, am Richard.
And I'm, of course, Shawn.
And we are, of course, speaking the language of bromance.
Yeah, except today it is Fomance, as once again, two bros battle to the bitter end of 7 rounds to see who is victorious. And Richard, today we're going to do the odd job draft. So if you don't know, and you should, what our drafts are is our 7-round NFL style, where we flip-flop picks back and forth. Whoever gets the first pick in the first round gets the first pick of the second round. And back in the day, we flipped a penny to see who goes first, and I won. So I get to go first on the odd drafts. Richard gets to go first on the even drafts. And this is an even draft, so Richard will get the first pick. And what this is odd jobs. These are kind of things that you don't think is like a typical day job, or a job that a lot of people do. Not necessarily going to be a ton of money. Not necessarily means we're going to be good at it. But something that's like, hey, you know what? That would be kind of fun to do. And Richard, so I will toss it up to you. So what would be your first pick for this odd job draft? And again, this is the 40th time we have done this, Richard.
This is 40?
Yeah, this is our 40th draft.
Oh, dirty 40.
Yeah.
Right?
I think so.
That's the one, right?
Yeah, I think you get
what's
anal plugs for this one. This anniversary.
Is that what you get for 40?
Yeah.
Well, then somebody, it was a few years too early.
Anal plug tester, check mark on that one.
I know. A few years. It was the first day we met. Hey, how are you? I'm Shawn. Look at these. You want them? Found them outside.
Oh, yeah. It's like, I thought that was a wine cork. Nope.
Now you get it out. I can't find it. You did. You're my best friend. That's the story of how we met. All right, first job, odd job. This is a job that is, I feel I would excel at. It's because it requires next to nothing in terms of effort. On top of the fact that you get a little bit of money and a whole bunch of notoriety. Shawn, for my first pick, I want to be an extra. I want to be I want to be like a movie extra, a TV extra, and like that's what I do. I just wander from like show to show, movie to movie, and just stand around. That's
you still get craft services. Like you go there for the day. You got craft services. You don't get a trailer, but I mean, you're on set. You might run into somebody that's cool. You're going to get tons of awesome pictures.
Yeah, you're just hanging out.
Yeah, you run into Affleck and it'd be like, "Hey, Affleck, can I get a picture?" He's like, "Hey, are you like here on like some kind of like you're about to die thing?" He's like, "No, I'm an extra." He's like, crumples it up.
Yeah,
get the fuck away from me, extra.
And he throws it in my face, and then I'm like, "You're a shitty Batman," and they cry, and I laugh. And then they'd send me home. And then I go to another movie.
Yeah.
I go to a
that's
Marvel movie. Be like, Affleck's a dick.
Tony Stark, you're the best. It's like, my name's Robert Downey Jr. Whatever, Mr. Stark. Is Nick Fury here? Oh my God, you have both eyes.
Where's your eye patch? Why do you even wear one? You got two eyes. Is that one glass? Ow.
And that's how I got fired from my second comic book movie in 2 days.
I flicked Samuel L. Jackson in the eye.
He said, I'm tired of these motherfucking extras on my motherfucking set.
These motherfucking extras flicking me in my motherfucking eye. I was a fucking Jedi Master, for God's sake.
I know I was an extra on that too. I was Padawan kid number 37.
Okay, so you get so you spend the day on a movie set, which awesome. Craft services, also awesome. A little bit of money, okay, that's fine, whatever. But then you're standing around. You're in movies, Shawn. You're in movies. You're in movies. Yeah. You're in pictures. You're on television. People see your face, and while it might not be the face that's on focus, they still see it. And also, here's the kicker. Because the potential might come up where they're like, hey, can you say this one line really quick? Like, you're a waiter. Like, you walk up and you set like a, somebody draws a mustache on your face and then you walk up to a table and then you like totally butcher a French accent.
Yeah, you like soup or potato. Cut. That's not the line. I know I kind of ad-libbed a little bit. Is that okay?
I was trying to find my center, and I felt like I should give him the choice of soup or potato.
I know it's super salad, but that seems very like 1980s to like forever.
We live in the now, and I feel like potatoes are due for a comeback. This is a vegan restaurant, right? We're grass-fed here, right? Guys, maybe it's not a restaurant.
You've only got 2 more takes, all right? If you fuck it up, you're out. All right, I'll nail this one. Oh, hey, pepperoni or sausage? God, what? What's wrong?
I've seen this. They ask pepperoni or sausage, and then they take my pants off.
This feels more like a pizza joint, right? Am I right, Robert Downey Jr.?
Mr. Stark?
Hey, why is he not even here? Like, shouldn't he be here for this? Like, no, we shoot this and then he comes in when you're not around. He doesn't like to be around extras. Oh, me either. That's why. Wait a second.
I'm a serious actor.
Did you just call me an extra? I'll be in my trailer. You don't have a trailer.
It's a porta potty that I wrote my name on in the front in crayon. Don't disturb me. And I have a little cutout star that I taped to the front.
You'll speak to my agent. You don't even have an agent. Yes, I do. What's his name?
Tim.
Here's his number. This is your number.
Ben Affleck.
But it seems like there's a pretty big and this is one of those if you don't mess up enough, because like you only have to have like certain expressions like, all right, everybody look up there like there's a big explosion. You're like, oh. All right, now look like there's a dead superhero. Oh. Now look like you just crapped your pants. Oh. Yeah, see?
That's your day. You just like you just walk around and you stand around and
I'm sure you get like $300 free food.
Right? And then end of the day you go to see a movie and guess what? There you are.
Yeah. I don't know if you'd be credited. I don't know if many extras get credited.
Doesn't matter. They still see you in the picture and then you bring girls with you and you're like, hey, there I am.
You're like, you're Ben Affleck? It's like, no, that guy's a terrible Batman.
Go see right there. Oh, you missed it.
Yeah. Hey, guy up there doing the camera, can you go back 3 seconds and pause it? I know it's a crowded theater, but I'm in this movie.
Hey. Okay, you see Ben Affleck there. So if you go a little bit, if you look behind and to the left of Ben Affleck, see that dude there with the hair? That's me.
I'm the guy behind him. You can barely see me.
That'd be a great job. And I think I would rock at it. And like I said, there is the potential that like I could have a line. And I walk up and be like, you don't want to eat here.
How'd this dick get in this salad?
Yeah.
Am I right? Cut. What? That's wrong on so many levels. What?
They used endangered meat. It's endangered meat.
I thought Hollywoods were vegans.
Right? Yeah. It'd be perfect. That's my odd
red
job.
wine. You throw red wine on Ben Affleck. It's like, well, I didn't have any paint. I know it's a Zinfandel, but
That's a shitty.
Hollywood's so fake.
You know, fake Hollywood is. That's what I want to be. I want to be an extra. I think that'd be awesome. I think that'd be a sweet gig. And I think
that's a good first pick.
And then you could just, like I said, you just bounce around. So then you just like, and then maybe you become this like meme on the internet where people are like, you see this dude? Like, he's in this movie, and he's on this show, and he's on this show. And then people like weave a story for you on the internet and be like, oh my God, it's that dude. He was hostess number 2 in Breakfast at Tiffany's.
I think he was young Padawan number 37, and the Jedi were, the crazy guy kills everybody.
And then they try and justify how to connect them all. You could be the linchpin that holds the whole thing together, because like he's in all these movies, so it's all one universe.
You could be the first DC Marvel crossover.
Yeah. After I get thrown off after saying he was a bad Batman.
Yeah. He was okay, Batman. Not great, but okay.
Where's Matt Damon? He can be your Robin.
Yeah.
Shut up. Sweet. I hate it when people say that.
Good first pick. I like that first pick. So, Richard, for my first round pick, I want a gig that like is fun. You get to interact with people. Like, whenever you interact with people, it's like when people are on vacation, like they're there to have fun, right?
Okay.
And I want to be the guy that's like, hey, I know you're here drinking, relaxing, but if you want, we've got this little activity going on over here just to kind of entertain you for 15 or 20 minutes. Richard, I want to be a Cancun, Mexico resort activity planner. Richard, this is a guy that really their job means nothing. They just get to like spend money on cool things. They're like, this would be kind of neat to do for like 30 minutes. The resort I went to, Richard.
Okay.
There's a guy.
Yeah,
his
explain
job,
this to me, because like I hear activity director and I think of like somebody organizing bingo at the nursing home.
Yeah, nursing home. But at a resort, it's a lot more fun. Okay. So it's like there's a guy's job, Richard, that all he does twice a day, I think, is go around and find like 6 to 12 people that want to play beach volleyball. Twice a day, Richard, he goes around and is like, hey, you guys want to play volleyball? You guys want to play volleyball? You guys want to play volleyball? If you get enough people, you get to play volleyball. If you don't, you get to hang out in the pool. And the other things you have to do, it's like, hey, I think there should be like a really crappy cover band and like 6 people dance in front of them. Mm-hmm. That could be your thing. Or, hey, it's casino night and everybody gets to use fake casino chips. You get to do that. But all day, Richard, all you get to do is hang out at a cool resort with a bunch of cool people, half dressed in bikinis. You get to wear like shorts because you're not like one of the other people at the resort. You're not the extra at the resort. You're the dude that like gets to wear the beach outfit because you got to play sand volleyball.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't know, because what if you're like, I feel like the job that you have to perform, because let's say, all you're doing is, beach volleyball games and, a shitty Kiss cover band every Wednesday night. Meanwhile, the resort next door is like has Kiss and they do topless beach volleyball.
Kiss is not coming to Cancun. But the thing is like these activities, most people go to resorts for the beach, the food, and the pool, and the beer. Not too many people are going to resorts for the activities.
And the threesomes. Don't forget the threesomes. Wait,
you're supposed to get those there?
Oh. Sounds like, you know what you had? A shitty activities director.
Well, Tiffany liked them.
You want to pick a different resort, huh? Tiffany always went to the resort across the street. She was like, I'm going to go listen to Kiss. I don't think
Can I come?
I didn't even know Kiss was there. You know what? Richard, Kiss wasn't there.
It's like, you want to come? I'm like, no, they have casino night. Gotta play that blackjack. She's like, me too. Wait, what?
He's black. His name's Jack.
But people don't really I don't go to those resorts for the activities. It's kind of like, oh, well, they have like tequila tasting. Okay, well, like I'm already blitzed and I just happened to cross over. It's okay. I'll sit there and do tequila shots.
Right.
But it's not like a high like stress situation because like anybody that plays volleyball, nobody takes it serious. It's like, oh, I serve underhand. Mm-hmm. Oh, we're having fun. It's like it's like even a step below like gym volleyball.
Okay.
Like nobody takes it serious. All the times I've played, nobody takes it very serious. There's not really any spiking or anything like that. So it's a low stress. You're on the beach. You're getting like probably all the leftover booze and stuff. All around good time. You know, I'm not getting yelled at by Ben Affleck unless he comes down and he's like, I want to be the bat volleyball. It's like, that doesn't make sense, Ben.
You were a bad Batman.
Ace, yes.
I bet Robert Downey Jr. is at the resort across the street.
What do they do over there? Threesomes?
This is a she resort. Wife's having a threesome with Iron Man and Blackjack.
He shows up and is like, I'm here for Robert Downey Jr. and Blackjack. Robert Downey Jr. is like, no. No, you were a shitty Batman.
Yeah.
I bet you're a shitty threesome partner. But Richard, my first round pick is a Cancun resort activity planner.
Okay. All right. I like I said, I still feel like there's an expectation there that you have to do something.
Like you're gonna get those older people like, this like volleyball isn't regulation size.
Yeah.
Like, fuck you, Susan. Go do another shot and talk about how your husband's across the street.
Well, your wife's. Blackjack's busy. He's the better activities director. Okay. Let's see. What is another job I would like to have? Okay. So, Shawn, when you and I were kids, what did we do? We used our imagination. What was things that we played with? What are things that you have right now that you also had when you were a kid?
I've got my Ninja Turtles.
You've got Ninja Turtles.
I've got my baseball bat.
And
I've got my video games.
They're toys.
Yeah, I've got a lot of my toys.
You got a lot of toys. I have a few. Shawn, for my second pick, a job that I think would be super fucking awesome, not terribly too hard considering what I've seen, but super awesome and it's kind of laid back to do. Shawn, for my next job, I would want to be a toy creator. I'd want to make toys.
That'd be fun.
Wouldn't it? Like you just fucking hang out and make toys.
So you just like sit in a room, come up with ideas.
Yeah. And you don't even need, I feel like you don't even need to be like completely original because you're like, because I mean, you look at toys, like I remember toys when I was a kid and I was like, Batman doesn't have a missile launcher.
Oh, but he does with my toys.
Yeah.
How's he going to breathe underwater? Oh, well.
That's
Scuba Batman.
Yeah, that's where you get Scuba Batman and the Scuba Bat and the Bat Submarine. Then you're like, Bat Submarine?
It doesn't seem logical that the Batmobile could become a Batcopter and a Batplane and a Bat Sub and a Bat Boat all in one. But for $49.99, it can.
That's right.
I think that'd be a good gig to have like in the 80s when like basically they were coming up with toy ideas to create cartoons off of.
Yeah.
To sell toys. Like He-Man, that's how He-Man came about.
Oh my God, Shawn, I know you have. You watched The Toys That Made Us.
I've watched a couple of them.
That
like
documentary series on Netflix. Oh my God, that thing is so great.
Yeah. It's like He-Man was created as a toy and then like it was like them trying to create a cartoon as like a 30-minute commercial for their toy.
Exactly. Yeah. And you know what? It totally worked. You know why? Because I had them all. I did have them all.
The Ninja Turtles didn't start out that way, but when they got the cartoon, they were kind of like, oh, well, we need all these different like characters to create toys off of. That's why they had like, Mutant of the Week.
Yeah, it seemed like that was how it was like in the 80s. They were like, hey, we're selling toys because of these cartoons, so let's make characters on the cartoons, and then let's make a toy, and then we'll put that character that's now a toy, we'll put it in the fucking cartoon, and then we'll sell 80 gajillion of these things.
Yeah. They're like, kids are dumb. And you know what's funny? You think about it, like I don't think toys are as big a thing now. It doesn't seem.
No, because now we have phone. Now, like my kids have phones and tablets and.
Yeah, but what they do is they market to like our age with like Funkos, and like all these things. So now they're collectible toys.
Yeah.
They're not toys you play with; they're collectibles. And I've got a handful of Funkos.
Yeah, you want to talk toy creator that's like fucking rolling in dough? Todd McFarlane. That dude makes fucking like the collectible action figures of like Spawn. He's done like a lot of the metal icons from the 80s, like Ozzy and Rob Zombie and
I gotcha.
Alice Cooper.
He draws them up and everything, or does he mold them?
Well, he does the design and everything. So it's like his art style put in toy form. I have a couple of his.
So would you want to go like the 80s route where you're creating like a story behind it? Or would you just want like a cool tool? Like, oh my God, this is the Monster 7 5000 monster truck.
So,
or would you want like the monster truck series that's like a story?
Are you asking, would I want to be a toy creator in the 80s or do I want to be a toy creator today?
I guess take like the theory of the 80s. It'd be now, but would you want to take like kind of that theory of you create the toy to create the cartoon 30-minute commercial?
Probably, maybe that, because I think that kind of gives you a bit more creative license. Like it's basically you could create a whole world. You look at fucking Lego, like they made that fucking Ninjago. They made that
they've got, like, the Batman movie too, the Lego Batman.
Yeah, like Ninjago, Bionicle, and like all their all those like 80 fucking worlds they have. Like they just make those up on the fucking. They're just like, hey, let's have this thing, and it's these guys, and they do this thing, and then they make the fucking Legos, and then they make a show about the fucking Legos.
I think that'd be fun. Like the dude that created He-Man, he created a really cool, like even though it's a 30-minute commercial, it's still a pretty cool world to say like, hey, I created He-Man.
Yeah, and
because like there's comics for it. G.I. Joe was the same way.
Yeah.
Like there's and I mean, like you and I have talked. We have so many ideas. Like, could you imagine if somebody gave us, like, the ability to be like, hey, what kind of ideas do you have? Like, we've got this. Let's make a fucking toy and sell it.
Yeah, and then we can make a show about the toy.
Yeah.
Fucking sold.
If anybody's listening, Richard and I have got ideas. We will spitball for an hour, and then we'll tell you our stories.
And some of them are safe for work, we promise. We totally promise.
I really like that idea, especially when you tag on the cartoon aspect of it, or the universe idea behind it.
Yeah, and a lot of that, like you wouldn't like see. Oh, so if you're just sitting around making the toys, when it comes to like the show and shit like that, like you're not really doing a lot of the like legwork on that in terms of coming up with story ideas and stuff like that. You're just kind of the overseeing, kind of force.
Well, even with like the story about it, if you're like getting to write the scripts and stuff and hand that off and somebody creates it, like I think that's the ideal when it comes to those. Because it's like, oh, I don't have to draw it. I don't have to voice it. Here's my story. Now make it real.
Yeah. You make this overarching story about these toys, and then somebody's like, okay, well, let's make that a show. And then they just take the story you have and go make a fucking show about it. But you still get money for it.
Yeah. Well, I just think like getting to see your idea come to fruition. That's what I want to see happen.
Oh, yeah, that too, I guess.
Yeah.
Nah, whatever.
I like it. All right, Richard, for my second round pick, it's a little bit more dangerous. It's a little bit more isolated, but I think it'd be a lot of fun. Richard, for my second round pick, I want to be a wildlife control agent in Alaska. So, Richard, these are people...
You want to shoot bears, you fucking monster?
No, I get to carry a gun, though, to protect myself from bears. But you get to, like, go out and, like, count salmon, count, like, different kinds of fish, go out. You get to try and count bears.
Wait a minute. They pay somebody to count the salmon.
Yeah, they do.
Like, that's a thing. That's real life.
Because what they do is they count the fish because they let all the fish into where they're going to spawn. And then after they get enough that come through, they say, all right, commercial fishermen, now just put your nets in front of this water and catch the rest of the fish.
So I can go to Alaska right now, and there's a guy standing next to a body of water going 1, 2, 3.
3, 4. That's your gig. But see, if you and I went, you'd watch my back, and I'd be like 5, 6. You'd be like 1 bear, 2 bear. I'm like, Richard, stop counting. You're messing me up. You gotta start over.
I'm on 12 and you're on 1. Yeah, my one's more important.
Richard, come back here. It's not break time yet.
I don't have to outrun the 1 bear. I have to outrun
why'd you
the
kick
1
me?
Shawn.
Why'd you kick me in the shin? That hurt. Whack. Ow, why'd you kick me in the shin? Now we're both going to die. Richard, the salmon aren't going to eat us. They're not sharks.
Oh, no.
But it'd be fun. You're kind of isolated. I think winters would be rough, obviously.
Till we die.
Yeah. During the summertime, you get like 20 hours of sunlight, which is pretty awesome. Wintertime would suck because it's dark the whole time.
Yeah. See, I don't know. 20 hours of sunlight, like, it sounds all good, but I hate trying to sleep during the day.
I don't really have a problem with it. I mean, like, if you just put up some curtains, I can pass out.
Yeah. Room
It doesn't bother
curtains.
me too much. And I mean, it's not like it's like bright. Like, it's just kind of like dusk. Like, it's like, you know, like right now it's the middle of July. And, you know, like around like 9-ish, where it's like still kind of light out.
See,
that's
this whole thing is not sounding good to me because Alaska is like cold Australia. Okay, so we're gonna go and we're gonna be counting salmon, and then a bear's gonna try and eat us. I'm gonna have to worry about bears, and then it's gonna get dark, and then I gotta worry about vampires, and then you're gonna be counting salmon, and then I'm gonna be like 1 bear, 2 bear, 3 vampires, 2 bear, 1 bear.
And we've only seen 1 goddamn salmon. But Richard, we could create, like, we go up there, we could like spitball your toy creation ideas. Like, listen, what if there were vampire bears?
Bear eating vampires. And then they make vampire bears as pets.
We'll call it Buffy the Bear Slayer.
Buffy. Bear Buffy.
And we'll do it BARE so it can be X-rated.
Yeah, right? That's where I was going. Oh my god.
Richard. Richard, we've been up here way too long. I know you're starting to look cute. But honestly, if I was going to spend, you know, isolation with anybody, it'd be you. So for my second round pick, Richard would be a wildlife control agent in Alaska.
I don't know, man. That sounds dangerous to me. The fact that you have to carry a gun, like already, like I see that and they're like, okay, you're gonna go out and count salmon. Here's your weapon, you know, just in case. And instantly, alarm bells going off in my head.
Yeah,
God.
You're like, wait, don't bears eat salmon? Yeah. Oh, well, what do I do? Well, don't run, because then the bear will be like,
Good news is you're not salmon. Bad news is it's still a bear. All right, Shawn, I've got the most cake job in the world. Okay, this job is so fucking easy, and not only that, this job, on top of being super easy, will also like get you so many women. Okay.
Listen, if you say professional podcaster, I'm gonna have to call a strike on that because it's got me 0 women to this point. I think it's turned my wife off.
Me too.
Oh, that's why we're going to Alaska to count salmon.
Take me, bear. I've got nothing left. Take
Even the bear won't take me.
Where are the vampires? It's a suicide mission. You go to count salmon. I don't even want the gun. All right, Sean. No, I'm saying like this job. Okay, so you're doing the job, and then you would go to a bar, and you be with a girl and be like, "Hey, you want to come back to my place?" And then you go back to your place, and then they're like, "Holy shit, is this yours?" And you're like, "Yeah, it's totally mine." Shawn, for my 3rd round pick, Shawn, I want to be a house sitter, but like a luxury house sitter.
Nice. So you basically bring ladies back and bang in like some billionaire's bed that like, he's only slept in it twice.
Yeah. like because fucking those billionaires, they go on vacations all the time, and maybe the house you're sitting is like their vacation house.
Yeah, they may have like 15 houses, and like, oh yeah, I forgot I had that one in Laguna Beach. Like, yeah, I didn't.
But you got to have it ready at all times. You know, you got to make sure that it's pretty well clean. You got to make sure that the pool has been, you take the little scoopy thing through the water.
The net?
Yeah,
the net. Clean out the filter.
Where did that word go?
I don't know. It's like, the thing that's like a net that scoops? You mean the scooping net? Yeah, that thing.
Totally. Yeah, you got to make sure the pool's clean and all that shit. Like when it comes to landscaping and all that stuff, he's got people that do that. The billionaire's got landscapers and all these other people that do that bullshit. All you really do is just make sure that they do what they're fucking supposed to do. You're like, oh shit, the grass needs mowed. Call up the fucking people and then they go mow it.
Yeah, especially I'm sure they probably jump in on short notice, but I would imagine most of the time like they're not servants. They're like oh shoot, what do you call the people that like do their scheduling?
Oh, like their assistants or whatever?
Yeah, their assistants. They're like, hey,
where'd that word go?
I don't know. Like, hey, Ben Affleck's going to be at his Laguna Beach house soon. I'm like, oh, is he going to be dressed as Batman?
Or did he burn that? Because he should.
But yeah, you get like a day notice. You make sure everything's lined up, and then you leave.
Yeah.
Oh, man, yeah, that would be. It got like awesome like sound systems would probably be awesome. They probably have awesome game rooms.
Yeah.
You just have to be careful you don't break anything.
Yeah, just be super careful. Like, obviously, you can't have like fucking blowout parties in your house.
Yeah.
I say your house. It's not even your house. Like,
depending on how often they stop by, what if they don't show up for like 6 years?
Yeah.
It basically is your house.
Then you're just fucking hanging out. And Shawn, you're getting paid for this.
Yeah. What does house sitters make?
I don't know. I'm not sure. Let's see. It looks like on average, you get your obviously your food and everything's paid for. It says around on average, it says it's like a $200 allowance per week
for food, or that's how much you get paid.
That's how much you get paid.
Oh, well, that's not that much.
Yeah, but all your living expenses are covered. That $200 is yours, just like in your pocket.
Yeah, but if you're living in like LA, that's like half a night out. You have to have a second job for that. Unless you throw kick-ass parties like, hey, this is where the shitty Batman lives.
So let's say you work some shitty minimum wage job. Let's say you fucking wash dishes like 3 nights a week for 20 hours. So
yeah, that's true.
There you go.
And you're living in Laguna Beach or Hawaii or someplace cool like that.
So you just, you're washing dishes 3 nights a week, and then you get this $200 allowance, and all your living expenses are paid.
Yeah, that wouldn't be bad. I like the theory of it.
And then, like I said, you're like, hey, you want to go back to my place? And then she's like, you're a scummy dishwasher. Where the fuck do you live? And then you drive up. And she's like, oh. And then she's like, oh my God, this dude has fucking money. And then she tries. And then she's like, well, how about I just stay with you? And you're like, no. The question is, Shawn, do you tell her the next day? You're like, oh, by the way, this is Ben Affleck's house.
Well, what happens when she sees all the pictures of Ben Affleck's like, you really like Ben Affleck, don't you? Like, well, so we have this thing where every time I save his life, I put a picture of him up in my house. He's got
tons of pictures of me, I swear.
Like, wait, isn't that from a movie? Well, no. Yeah, that's from Bad Boys. Damn it, lost another one.
Fuck. I gotta get better at this.
God damn it, Netflix. Why'd you put Bad Boys on there?
And then finally Ben Affleck shows up and...
Yeah, and then he wants to talk about how he sucked his Batman for 6 days.
Yeah, and then he's all crying in his fucking living room. Sitting all curled up on the couch.
Nothing worse than a sad Batfleck.
Right? He's watching, Batman Returns to try and feel better. And then I'm like, yeah, but I mean... Keaton still had the first one. He was really good in that. And that doesn't help at all.
Yeah, why don't you watch a little Batman and Robin? That'll set the pace for you.
Yeah. Be like, hey, I mean, so Clooney, you beat him out.
I mean, technically, Christopher Nolan really didn't seem like he knew what he was doing. So, where's the trigger? Get it? I don't get it. It's kind of dumb.
Wait a minute. You said Christian Nolan made the movies. You're talking about Christian Bale.
No, but Christian Nolan was probably like, hey, you should be like.
No, it's not Christian Nolan. It's Christopher Nolan. Christopher Nolan and Christian Bale.
No, Christopher Nolan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Chris Nolan, Chris Bale.
I hate those movies.
Whatever.
Seriously, there's a boat, and it's like, hey, you have to choose. Why not? Joker's like, hey, you have to choose. He's like, I don't want to choose.
Fucking Batman. I'm too sure.
Yeah. I'm going to retire in the next one and move to France. Ben Affleck's like, well, I didn't do that. Like, no, you didn't, Ben, because you didn't get that far.
True story.
All right, Richard, for my third round pick, I've kind of wanted to get into like the creation of comics at some point. You know, the artistic side of it, I think would be awesome. You know, even the inking would be awesome. Ideally, like scripting it and writing those. I've tried that a little bit and enjoyed it.
You are a man of many talents.
Yes. And I think one of the things I think would be a lot of fun because it's a kind of an art unto its own. Richard, for my third round pick, I want to be a comic letterer.
A comic letterer. Okay, explain the job of comic letterer.
So these are the guys that fill in the word bubbles. So if you look at comics, each comic has its own like font. Okay. And these are the guys that come up with it. I mean, there's some like pretty typical, I think, is like, you know, hey, I want, you know, Marvel font 27, and you'd get that. But some of like the indie ones, people actually hand do these fonts, and then that's what they do for the rest of the comic. You know, I want to be the guy that'd be able to come up with these cool looking fonts and run with it. And there's some that like you look at like, yeah, that's this kind of font.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's a very subtle thing because if somebody's just reading it, a font's a font. Like, you know, some people are like, oh, Times New Roman, Courier New. I don't care.
So you feel like you would make a font and you would appeal to like this niche market. You'd be like, oh, that's the dude that made Times New Roman. Yeah.
Well, and I think like you'd see like you basically, oh, well, that's Richard's Alaskan bear vampire font. That's what that is. And like you could really set the mood for it. Like you could like, oh, well, like I use a little bit heavier push here on this comic because it's darker, you know, or I use a little bit lighter, fancier because this is a little bit more of a fancier one.
Okay.
And you get to work with like a lot of cool creators, I think. If you're highly sought after, you know, like a lot of indie guys would be like, oh, I want you to letter my comic because you come up with such great stuff. It's almost kind of like a like Mozart type thing. Like, you know, you're creating this.
So it's like calligraphy, basically. It's like a modern version of calligraphy.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
And I mean, it wouldn't be like, you wouldn't be the rock star. Like, nobody reads comics like, oh my God, when I saw that.
I picked this up for the font. I jerk off on the font.
When I see that new bear font, I just get a raging boner.
Oh my God. Look at it. Honey, look.
No, not my dick. Look at the Courier New.
It's like fucking Wingdings, but better.
Oh, is that a tick at the end of that N? Oh, yeah.
You say Wingdings, I say wing-a-ding-ding. Ding-dong.
My third round pick is a comic letterer.
Okay. All right. That is not one that I would even conceive of. So that's kind of cool. All right, Shawn, this next job. Now, I've listed a bunch of jobs that require little to no fucking effort. This is a job that does require effort, but I feel would be super fucking cool to do. All right?
Okay.
And it's a bit of an odd job. I would say it's a bit more mainstream than a lot of the other ones I've mentioned. Shawn, for my next pick, I would love to be an ethical, I put ethical in there, an ethical computer hacker.
I saw this in my research, and I thought it was very, very interesting. So you're kind of like the dude from Swordfish.
Yeah. Wait a minute. Oh, okay.
Except ethical.
Well, yeah, you said Swordfish. And then I was like, John Travolta, he wasn't ethical.
Yeah, well, Hugh Jackman.
Yeah. You're right.
I guess he was undercover, wasn't he? I don't know. That movie was dumb. I mean, the only thing that had to go for it was what's her face's boobies. It's just like she's reading a book. Yeah, when I saw it, I was like, oh, you see Halle Berry's boobs. I was like 12. I was like, oh, I want to see these. And it's just like
that came out when you were 12. Wait a minute. Hang on. Out it was after The Matrix.
It was like 2000 or 2001, wasn't it?
You were 12? You weren't 12. Swordfish came out. Okay, so
it came out in 01. I was like 14, 15.
Damn. I was 19. I was still like, ooh, boobies.
Yeah, but she's like reading a book. I'm like, what is that book? She puts it down like, damn it, what was that book? And then she puts it up like, oh, damn it, I missed the boobies.
That's what, you know what your problem is, Shawn? That's a little too ethical.
So you basically would like work for the government or work for like a company where they're like, hey, try to break into our system?
I don't think I'd work for the government. I would totally work for a company. Or a like some like organization like the Electronic Frontier Foundation or stuff like stuff like that. I'd want to be a hacktivist in a way.
What's a hacktivist?
Like a hacker with a
heart of gold.
With a
hard drive,
maybe
of gold.
A political agenda.
Oh, so you'd be. So what do you mean by that?
I mean, like, if there was a cause.
When you say political agenda, that's borderline terrorism, Richard.
Oh, stop it.
And this podcast goes on the internet. That's how you get subpoenaed.
Well, I said I'd love to be one. I'm not saying I am one.
I don't have the skills, trust me.
Me neither.
I don't have a certain set of skills.
No, I do not. Not at all. I mean, I think you would probably have to get, like you see these fucking hackers, that, they go to prison for 10 years and then they come out and then they're writing books and they start security firms and they're making fucking buku bucks.
Yeah, well, that's a lot of it. I mean, you get like consultant fees, like companies like, hey, tell us where our vulnerabilities are, and you're like, everywhere. You're like, damn it, here's a $10,000 check.
Ironically, I used to listen to a couple of them that they got out of prison and then they started security firms. I used to listen to a couple of them speak or whatever, and they said a majority of the hacking that they did, especially there was this one guy who went to prison for like 10 years or something like that, like way back in the fucking like mid 90s, he got busted. But he said a majority of his hacking he actually did over the phone because he realized that the easiest thing to exploit in a company is people. So you would call on the phone and pretend to be somebody, and then you call another number and say, "Oh, I got transferred here from blah blah blah." And just by sitting there on the phone and talking to people, then you get enough information that you could just get on the computer and do.
I heard somebody talk about they like there's hackathons or whatever, and this person live on stage called a bank. I think it was a female because I think females have a little bit better luck with it.
Okay.
Went to YouTube, played like a crying baby sound like clip, and called. And the bank's like, she's like, "Hey, I'm so and so. I'm trying to get my husband's account." And she's like, "What's his first name?" And it's like, "Oh," and she's like, "It's Mr. blah blah blah," and like they just playing off the baby crying. And it's like, "Is it Mr. Joe Smith?" It's like, yeah, it's Joe. I need to get into his account. It's like, well, I need his last 4 digits. And then, like playing off the baby crying, and then finally he's doing it long enough and acting like you're a frustrated parent or whatever. Like it would end up being that they would give you like access to somebody's bank account.
That's crazy.
Yeah, and this person just did it on stage, and it's like, see, very easy. Like it's not like hacking isn't like where people think like you're just pounding on a keyboard. It's more of like manipulation of people.
And you're like surrounded by screens and you're like spinning around in your fucking chair and you're like do. It's not war games, which I think everybody like over the age of 30 assumes when they hear hacking, they assume it's war games. They're like, oh my God, it's like war games. It's Matthew Broderick and war games. I hear the word hacking and it's war games.
It's Google and trying to figure out your passwords.
Yeah, it's somebody on the phone while looking at a Google homepage. And I'm like, that's not war games. Matthew Broderick wouldn't do that.
So what ethical computer hacking would you do?
Well, like I said, ideally, I would love to work for some sort of organization that, fought the man. But more likely I get hired by some company to do, consulting and like security testing where like I try and hack them.
It's a living.
Yeah, right. And then I feel like, and I go home and feel like a sellout.
Yeah, and you go home and watch war games and pound on your keyboard.
I wish it was like this. Why can't it be like this?
These movies are such a lie. And you're sitting there with Ben Affleck. He's like, yeah, they are.
I just get CC'd on emails all fucking day. I want to be Matthew Broderick.
All right, Richard, for my 4th round pick, there's Richard, how do you feel about weddings?
I was in one.
Yeah, I don't like going to weddings. But whenever you're with somebody that's like a friend, that you're a friend in their wedding, which I've never been. I don't think I've been a groomsman like once or twice.
I've been a groomsman once.
Yeah, that's for me, wasn't it?
It was for you.
Wow, I've only been like twice, maybe. I think it was like the first time was my brother-in-law, which was kind of like my sister's like, we got to have Shawn in here. He's like, no, I don't want him. He's a weirdo. And I was like, who's a weirdo? Are we going to wear suits? I want to wear a suit.
I'm going to be fancy.
Hey, am I going to be the best man?
The goodest boy.
And the second one was weird because it was a girl I knew in high school.
That is weird.
And yeah, and I talked to her for a while, and I ended up being a groomsman in her wedding. I kind of forgot about that till now. It was weird. Like, I didn't know her guy she was married.
Did she, like, corner you alone?
I don't remember. I think she, like, sent it to me over Facebook.
Shawn, I don't know if I can go through with this.
Like, can I be the best man?
This looks like a job for the goodest boy.
But, Richard, if you are, like, with the right group of dudes, and you can go out, you do, like, the bachelor party, you party it up, you have a good time. Mm-hmm. I think that's kind of like the stuff that's fun. And, like, sometimes at weddings, if you don't care and you get drunk, you kind of dance. Like, it's kind of fun. Richard, I only saw this for women, but I'm going to say they're going to do this for men for me. For my 4th round pick, I want to be the main title I saw is professional bridesmaid, but I want to be a professional groomsman.
That is something I didn't even know existed.
Yeah.
So you get hired to be a groomsman in a wedding.
Yeah. I would imagine you're setting up the bachelor party. You know, it's like, hey, all right, Greg, I've got your party set up. We're going to fucking paint the town red. You're going to be so fucked up. You're going to be like, oh my God, I don't even know if I want to get married. But, you know, like you're taking Greg out. And he's like, well, Susan said that I can't go to a strip club. It's like, fuck Susan. It's your last night as a single man. Titties in your face, Greg.
You can sleep with her. It's okay. It's like a rule now. I've been in tons of weddings, and they're like it's.
Hey, Greg, are you a professional groom?
I'm a professional.
No.
Let me tell you the way weddings are supposed to go. You go home with the stripper, and then you bring her back on your wedding night, and you're like, it's okay. I've road tested.
Yeah. And then what you do, you take pictures. You're like, hey, Greg, guess what? I think I need another 10 grand or, you know, your wife, Susan, your future wife, Susan's going to see this. You're going to ruin me. Well, you shouldn't have slept with a stripper. You said it was like tradition. Well, yeah. I was drunk.
Yeah, I was drunk and lying. But whose problem is that now, Greg? Mine.
You're there, and he's bawling at the wedding, and you're just like counting the money.
Yeah.
But everybody's like, oh my gosh, it's so romantic. Greg's crying as he sees his bride. But really, you have the stripper in the very back row.
Hey, Candy.
Checks in the mail, Candy.
That's a good point. She'd get like a finder's fee.
Yeah. Be a whole kind of like.
That's a 2-man scam.
Yeah.
Operation. That's actually not a bad idea. You could do a movie on that.
You could. You get free booze, you get free food. Oh, yeah, and then the end was does he fall in love with Candy? Is that how it is? It's got to be a romantic comedy.
Yeah. Oh, would the grooms... Yeah. Or no, what if you fall in love with the bride and you don't want to hurt you don't want to, like, hurt her feelings, so you but like the blackmail thing's going on. So now you have to choose, like, do you ruin the wedding?
Yeah. But then you find out that like Greg's like a real douchebag. Like he doesn't even fight it. Like you walk in like getting ready to do the blackmail of like taking pictures. He's already banging like 6 strippers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's banging one of the bridesmaids.
Oh yeah, he's banging Beth. You're like, oh, isn't that your bride's sister? Oh, she's adopted. That doesn't make it okay.
That never makes it okay.
Yeah. It's kind of like Wedding Crashers, but like R-rated.
That's what I was going to say. It sounds like in my head, I'm thinking Wedding Crashers.
A little bit more risque. Because was Wedding Crashers rated R? Surely it was.
Probably. Had to have been.
Ooh, we have to cast Rachel McAdams. Even though she's kind of weird now. I used to have a big crush on her.
Why is she weird now?
Anymore. I don't know. She's just kind of odd.
Oh, that does nothing for me.
I think it's because she did that like
I'm still behind
that movie,
her.
The Time Traveler's Wife, where like the time traveler goes back in time when she was a little girl, and like it's like super creepy.
I don't know. I never saw the movie, so she's still gold in my eyes.
Okay. Well, either way, I want to be a professional groomsman.
Perfect.
So for my 4th round pick, Richard, I want to be a professional groomsman.
Job number 5. What do I want to be? Okay. So Shawn, for my next pick, this is a job that I think it sounds important and it sounds demanding, but at the end of the day, I feel like this job you could completely just bullshit this entire job. And it's a real job. And people make fucking stupid money doing it. But I feel like it's a completely bullshit job. And I'll explain why. Shawn, for my next job, I would like to be a sommelier.
Okay. I don't know what a sommelier
I think that's how it's pronounced. Sommelier. It's the guy, okay, so you go to like a really, really fucking upscale restaurant. Okay. You have a chef who makes food and, you know, decides what to make, what to put what with this. I'll put this with this. I'll put this with this. The sommelier is the person that picks wines to go with the food.
Ooh, that one. So, okay, keep going.
Like he's the one that runs the wine. He runs the wine cellar. Basically, he runs the wine area of these like super upscale restaurants and wineries. Now, here's my thing when it comes to wine. Okay, and I've seen not hundreds. I've seen a lot of blind taste tests where people can't fucking discern one wine from another. In terms of age, in terms of price, in terms of preference. Like if you take the labels off a $400 bottle and a $20 bottle, and somebody drinks one or the other, like, oh, they're both pretty good, and like, yeah, well, this one's $400 and this one's $20. Or you take the label, or you take the wine out of the $400 bottle and pour in the $20 wine. Be like, oh my God, this is amazing. Be like, yeah, it's $20 wine. It's just in a bottle. So like,
it takes like a very distinct like palate, and I think even then it's kind of questionable.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying. I feel, me personally, I could completely just bullshit my way through that entire fucking profession.
Just buy like a whole like case of $2 Chuck, and you're like, this is like $7,000 wine.
But here's the fucking crazy thing: is you actually like, in order, if you want to get this, if you want this job, in terms of like, if you want to make like a serious fucking career out of it, like there's certifications. There's certifications and tests to take. I'm like, how the fuck? It's a completely subjective fucking thing.
Yeah. You know those tests are like shitty though. Like it seems like that's like a super political thing. Like Bob is like, oh, you chose Marmathukel Thoopadoo number 7, and I would have choose number 12.
Oh, you went with the 16 instead of the 14.
You fail. Try again.
Yeah.
It's like, well, I fooled you because I put the 12 and the 14 and the 14 and the 12.
Yeah. I feel like and I'm not saying that there's good wine. There's not good wine and bad wine. I do feel like there is good wine and there is bad wine. But if you're trying to talk to me about subtle hints of oak and fruity notes at the tail end. Oh, I'm catching passion fruit on the back of my, like, fuck you, okay? Fuck you. Seriously, I feel like the whole, like, subtle hints of blah blah, like that. I feel like the whole thing's bullshit, and it's just somebody with a fucking stick up their ass just parroting. Oh well, I think I went to sommelier school, and I'm saying I'm catching passion fruit and dragon notes.
It's like, would you fart on the bottles? Like, there's your passion fruit.
You smug motherfucker. Calm down. It's goddamn booze, okay?
Richard, some people just, I think it's money. I think money just brings out, it releases that wine tasting gene. Like, when you get that extra couple zeros on your bank account, that gene just opens wide open.
I'd be a sommelier, you know what? And everybody be drinking fucking Zima. That's what they drink.
Ooh, it's a bit bubbly. I'm not used to bubbly wine.
It's a lot of carbonation. I'm catching hints of sulfuric acid and monosodium glutamate. Yeah, because it's fucking Zima. Get the fuck out of here. Now, like, I cook fucking shit. I cook fucking amazing shit, right? And I totally get that that you can have a discerning palate when it comes to food. Like, if something's infused carrots infused with coconut oil and that kind of shit. Like, I feel like that is a far difference than taking a sip of wine and you're getting 10 different fucking things.
Yeah.
And you're also gonna be able to tell me, I feel like the whole thing is a mind game in your head. If I give you a glass of wine, and I tell you that wine is, from this vineyard, from this region of the country, and they grow their grapes this way, and they do these things with it, and it's all, it's done like it was 400 years ago, and this bottle, has been aged, blah, 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 in this fucking hickory barrel for blah blah. Like, you're gonna as you're drinking it, knowing everything I just told you, it's gonna create that image in your head. So basically,
it's kind of like a magician. It's like, hey, look over here, but don't look behind as I'm pouring the Zima.
I'm gaslighting you to like it. So like I said, I feel like it's a completely bullshit job that I could just bullshit my way into.
Wait, gaslighting? Are you giving a hand job? Isn't that what that movie was about?
Yeah, that's exactly that was Train Spotting.
Oh, okay. About the same thing. Gaslighting, Train Spotting. It's all fake.
Just like this fucking job.
Yeah. Well, Richard, for my 5th round pick, I thought you were going to steal this one, so I was a little nervous. But it's essentially the same thing. Except this, you're going into somebody's house, and they're like, I need you to make sure my aura in my house is ideal. My feng shui is flowing well, Richard. So for my 5th round pick, I want to be a feng shui consultant. So this is where you're going to come into people's house, and basically for like 3 hours, you're just going to make them move shit. That's all you're going to do. Okay. Because I'm not doing it.
But, okay, I do have a point of
order.
You're
going to be like, wait, I completely believe in feng shui. I had this guy come to my house. He told me to move my bookcase 12 times. For last place we put it, perfect. My feng shui is like even keel.
Okay. No, it's not, I don't, in terms of like moving shit and to change like the energy of the house and how that affects you, I'm a bit on the fence about that. But I will, when you, so let's say you walk into a house, are you just moving around the stuff they already have, or are you adding things to it or taking things away? Because then I feel like that's not feng shui. That's basically you're an interior designer.
Yeah, I mean, I would imagine it's probably like yin and yang on that. Like, I imagine when you show up, you're like, oh, well, you need to move this here, here. Oh, and what you really need is this. I've got one in the car for $10,000.
Yeah.
Like, to make your money, you're probably doing that too.
Yeah.
But, I mean, ideally, you're just going in and be like, you know what, your couch should go here. And really, it's just like what looks better and what seems to flow better. Like, I don't know if I believe in like the mystical piece of it, where like, oh, the energies will be moved if you move your couch here. You're like, no, my farts go there.
No, I feel, yeah, that kind of has like I think it's kind of a psychosomatic effect.
Yeah, well, it's kind of the same thing like the sommelier. It's like, oh, well, you know, where the couch was there, I just felt under pressure. But now that this consultant, this professional, told me to put it here, I feel so much more at ease. My back stopped hurting. My erectile dysfunction went away. I can poop again. And I can now taste the essence of passion fruit and wine.
I don't know what happened. You put the couch on the west wall, and all of a sudden it cured my erectile dysfunction.
But it's kind of the same thing. It's just kind of like you basically like trick people's minds and be like, oh yeah, this is so much better. Like, to me, like, moving stuff around is more of a pathway. Like, if I keep running into my couch, I need to move it so I stop running into my couch. But it's not going to make my like feng shui better if it's 6 inches to the left or 6 inches to the right. It's going to make my big toe stop hurting every time I run into it.
I don't know, Shawn. I mean, have you moved the furniture in your house and seen if it changes like the way you feel?
Is that a sex joke, Richard?
Maybe.
I told you that in confidence. We haven't moved the furniture in months.
Yeah. Me neither.
But we've got a feng shui consultant coming over. His name's Blackjack.
He's got 3 people to move this couch. I don't understand.
It's not even a big couch.
Only 4. I mean, it's not that big. It's more like a love seat. Why do 3 people need to have a love seat? Why are they moving into the bedroom? That's not where that should go.
That's not feng shui. I don't think these guys are professionals, Richard. But Richard, my 5th round pick, again, I think it's kind of a BS job. You get to make people move stuff around until they're tired, and it's a feng shui consultant.
No, Shawn, I'm totally feeling the energy now. Well, could you open the door at least? I want to feel the energy too. No, not right now. I'm soaking in more energy.
Who knew soaking in so much energy was so tiring?
Okay, so I'm torn between 3. I think I'm gonna go with this one. Okay, Shawn. Now this is a job that I feel I don't know how good I'd be at it. And it's not something I particularly enjoy doing, but I feel like it's something so easy that I wouldn't care. Shawn, for my next pick, I would like to be an anonymous mystery shopper.
Oh, okay. Like, not like a restaurant type one, like an actual shopper, or both?
Yeah. Well, I mean, whatever. I'd be a secret shopper for like.
Do they get to keep what they buy?
Or do what?
Do they get to keep what they buy?
I think so.
I feel like that gig. I know some people that have like worked for like big like box stores, not box stores, but like big superstores. And it seems like even today when they go in, like they constantly like they're evaluating the store. So like they can't just go in the store and buy like bread. It's like, oh nope, that's a check, that's a check. That, and like, oh shit, wait, I'm not working. I'm just here to buy bread. So I would worry that like that kind of gig, you'd probably get into that mindset of like always being at work.
I could see that. And like I said, like shopping, it's not something I particularly love doing. I'm really indifferent when it comes to shopping. Like I could take it or leave it. I mean, I go to just walk in the store and buy shit and leave. So the thought of getting paid to go to the store and buy shit and leave sounds like a fun thing to do. It sounds like an easy thing to do. I totally get what you're saying. I guess I'm just kind of thinking like, you know, you walk into a store, you kind of assess how their customer service is and the quality of whatever you're buying, and then you give your report and blah blah blah. It's kind of the same thing with restaurants. If you're like a secret diner, you walk in, you have your food, and
it seems like the people that are probably really good at that are the ones who are like stickler for rules. It's like, oh, you didn't give me a straw in 6 seconds. It was 8.7. That's a check.
Well, yeah. I mean, I think that like I've seen these. And also, like another thing that would kind of bother me is I feel like the amount of work you would have to do. Probably after a while, I feel like it would get monotonous. Like, for example, like I watched this documentary on Michelin, which is like the big food guide in Europe, the ones that award like the stars, the Michelin stars, and they were saying that they have. For example, they were talking about England, for example, and they said that they have 10 inspectors in England, and they're doing between 260 to 300 lunches and dinners a year.
Oh, wow.
So
each?
Yeah, well, yeah. They're doing between that. They're doing 260 to 300 dinners and lunches a year. And you're thinking like, oh, yeah, well, but you're going out to eat. Yeah, but you're still like, I mean, it's like you said, you're walking in and you got to, assess the way the service is, assess the way the food is. And you get done and, you're coming and you really have to, with them, they need to maintain their anonymity. Because everybody's trying to find out who they are. Everybody's trying to find out, they have habits, and so people will like kitchens and wait staff will pick up on those habits. And so if like, for example, like some of them drop a fork on put a set of forks down on the floor.
Oh, I gotcha.
They don't drop it because you'll hear it, but they set a fork down to see if anybody notices it and grabs it. So, okay, but I mean, it seems like I'm all for going out to eat, but 260 to 300 dinners and lunches.
Well, and I mean, so many of those restaurants, it's kind of the same food.
And plus, you're probably going back to like some places, some places they're being considered for higher accolades, like 2 or 3 star restaurants. You go back more than once to make sure it's consistent. And things like that.
I think that's one that sounds good. I mean, a lot of these jobs I think sounds good in theory. Because, I mean, yeah, it'd be great to not have to cook. You get free food. I mean, that's always a plus.
See, but I feel like after, 260 to 300 dinners and lunches, like you would yearn for like just making fucking dinner at home.
I could see it, yeah. Well, I mean, it'd be like, oh, shit, it's 5:30. I got to fucking go out and eat. Like, damn it. All right.
Where am I going?
Gotta get dressed, go. And you have to pretend not to be anonymous. Which I'm sure is kind of like a pain in the butt too.
I can see
because you can't take notes. You got to keep mental notes.
Yeah, because you're saving all that for the end. So yeah, it's a job that it sounds good in theory to me. I feel like it would be so easy to do that the little hiccups and wrinkles in it wouldn't bother me that much. But that's my number 6 pick. I'll be a mystery shopper. Or a secret diner.
Of your picks so far, that's the weaker one to me, but it's not terrible. Let's see. So my 6th round pick, Richard, this is one that is kind of probably looked down upon quite a bit in big cities. But I'm thinking of this like even like small towns, like after hours, when people are coming out of the bars. What, Richard, when you leave a bar like 1, 2 in the morning, what's like the first thing on your mind?
Food.
Yeah, I want some food, like any food.
Yeah.
Biscuits and gravy, like something greasy. Like, I don't even care what it's been in. Like, I'm just fucking starving. Richard, I think you'd make some good bank on it. You'd see a lot of cool things. I want to be a hot dog vendor.
Oh my God. That sounds amazing. Dude, that's something we could actually do.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
You've talked about some of the places like where they put cream cheese on the buns.
The fucking wobbly. shout out to the Wobbly Wiener in Pacific Beach, San Diego, California, because you guys are the fucking bomb diggity.
I just think it like you could have like during lunch times you could do like more gourmet hot dogs. Like after the bars close, it probably wouldn't be as gourmet. But I mean, you charge like $5 for a wiener. You know, and people are going to pay it. Hot dogs are cheap. You've got your little griddle. You throw it on there. You throw your bun, mustard, ketchup, relish. Boom. Get your dog.
Hot dogs can be cheap, but they can also not be cheap. And, I mean, a hot dog, I feel like, is one of those things like you get out of it what you put into it. If you put if you put a lot of effort and shit into a hot dog, you can make a fucking hot dog taste fucking boss.
Well, and it's the kind of hot dog, too, because if you get, like, the crappy ones, like the very cheap, like $2 for 15 of them, and you throw it in some boiling water, you're getting, like, disgustingness. But you get some, like, high quality.
Ugh, boiled hot dogs are the worst.
I cannot do boiled. I'd rather do microwave than boiled. I always pan fry mine in like onions and peppers.
Yeah,
it's really good.
Fuck ketchup.
I'll do ketchup every now. I like more of a mustard and relish. Always got to have relish on it, or sauerkraut, which we know you don't like sauerkraut.
I'm not really too big on relish. Onions and peppers, especially if I'm doing like a sausage. Oh, God, now I'm hungry.
And I like the like Chicago style where you got like the big pepper pickle on it or whatever.
Yes, the fucking pepperoncinis and shit. Oh my God.
Yeah. But like that, like when you're finished, if you're making good hot dogs, you make yourself one and eat one. But you put one of those things up in an area.
If you're drunk at 1 a.m. and you get yourself a hot dog, that shit tastes like manna from heaven.
Oh, especially if you're drunk. And even if you got a boiled one, you put some ketchup and stuff on it and all that good stuff, like when you're drunk, it sits on your stomach so well. And like it's almost like a food truck. It's like a mini food truck because you can have like could you imagine doing like a hot dog with like fries and like cheese sauce on it?
See, that's what I'm saying. That's the thing I love about food trucks. You take one thing and fucking just do it better than anybody else around.
Oh, we can call it bro dogs.
Copyright Richard and Shawn.
Copyright Richard and Shawn. Dude, let's do that. Let's move out to California. Set up like 2 blocks from the Wobbly Wiener. While the bro dogs. Bro dog wieners. No, bro dog, mobile bro dogs. Something with bro dogs. I don't know, but that would fit.
Oh, that sounds so awesome.
And I could wear a hot dog outfit, and I could be standing out there and be like, "Ask me about my wiener."
Perfect.
You can like even delve into like corn dogs.
Yeah.
And like you can get like
fucking ham bread them and shit. Oh my God. Stop it. See, I'm gonna get hungry now.
I'm already hungry. But Richard, for my 6th round pick, we're gonna open up the Bro Dog mobile hot dog stand, and we're gonna be hot dog vendors.
Okay. I gotta say, out of all the picks so far, that one I'm fucking sold. That one is, if you're gonna pick any of these, like if you have a shit day tomorrow at work and you come home and you're like, I'm fucking over it, that's the thing you need to look at.
We talked about that guy like a long time ago who was working outside the LA Rams stadium. He was homeless and he had a hot dog stand. And he was pulling in like $2,000 a month.
Oh yeah, fucking what was his name? Mr. Something.
I don't remember. It was a crazy name. It was like episode 110, 15-ish, somewhere in there. Remember.
Okay, last pick. Now, see, Shawn, I feel like, I don't know if you're saving this one for your last pick. I don't know. But this is one I'm really surprised you haven't picked.
Male stripper. Got it.
Nailed it. All right, Shawn. For my last pick, this is a job that I feel like would be super cool, especially if you get really good at it. If you get really good at it, I think that this brings money. This brings notoriety. And you get to be all the things that possibly you ever wanted to be. Shawn, for my 7th round pick, I want to be a voiceover artist.
I got it. I knew it. I almost put that one down, but I felt like it was kind of in that realm of like, we kind of do that. So I was kind of on the fence about doing it. But that is a very good money shot pick. Like, think about it. Nicolas Cage is going to be Superman.
Yeah. See, now they're getting actual actors to be voiceover artists.
Yeah. You could do your own thing. You could be Batman. You could be Joker. You could be Spider-Man. You could be a new character.
Yeah.
And you're better at voices than me too.
And so, and think about this, like you've had so many, you like the cartoons you watch and, cartoons I watch and animated movies and video games and all this shit. And in a way, those voiceover artists are giving I mean, they're a way. They're giving performances. They're being actors. They're just not physically doing.
Well, have you seen like some of the actors that like they get into it? Like
yes.
they're emoting, they're moving their hands, they're acting.
Yeah, I love watching Mark Hamill do the Joker. Because he is like into it. He's like he's always standing up and fucking moving his hands, and it's great. I love it.
Cumberbatch is like that too. Benedict Cumberbatch.
Yes, he's very like especially. I saw some of his voiceover when he was doing Smog for the Hobbit movies, and he was very I totally know what you mean.
So if you could voice like a specific character, like what would be your dream like voice acting gig?
I don't know, there's the obvious ones you can think of. I feel like I couldn't do them better than the ones that I recall hearing. Like it's basically it would be like if somebody said, "Would you want to do the voice of Bugs Bunny?" I'd be like, "No." Like you already got a guy that was Bugs Bunny, and he was there's like you can't beat it. You can't top that.
With that stuff, like you're trying to do a Bugs Bunny voice.
Yeah.
Like it'd be like being Scooby or Shaggy. Like you're doing Scooby or Shaggy. You're not doing your interpretation of it.
So I feel like if you're asking me what my dream character would be, I think I'd have to wait for it. I would have to wait for that. I would have to wait for somebody to be like, "Hey, we need you to voice this character. He's a blah blah blah.
He's a podcaster. Got it.
Nailed it.
Sad and depressed. I'm all over that.
Doesn't know the love of a woman. I totally understand.
Mine, I think, and it kind of fits what you're saying, is like I don't think anybody's like iconically done this, but it'd be like Leonardo of the Turtles. Yeah, like, they could give me Leonardo, like I could do my own interpretation and be like, okay, sure, that's Leonardo. I mean, they had two in the last cartoon series. They had Jason Biggs, and he got kicked shit can because he was saying stuff inappropriate, and Seth Green picked it up.
And so I feel like if you're asking me what my dream character would be, it would be, I don't know. I'd have to wait for somebody to be like, I be this character. And then it's somebody that you're creating from scratch with your voice.
That'd be cool. I get down that. That's a good pick. I like that 7th round pick.
Oh, that'd be so awesome. And then you're just like, you're still, and you get to play like you're a character in a game. You're a character in a movie.
There is a lot of voice acting gigs out there.
Yes, there is. My luck, I'd just be like, fucking narrating Cialis commercials.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's a living.
I knew you were going to say that.
Richard, for my 7th round money shot pick, this I was slightly nervous you were going to pick this one. You didn't. I did. But it's a kind of a play on what we do right now.
Okay.
And I'm kind of tweaked it. So one of the things they said is like a weird kind of crazy job are cruise ship entertainers. But Richard, what I would love to do on a cruise ship with you and I is we would do our show, a live podcast on a cruise ship.
So it'd be like a 2-man show. We'd be like Martin and Lewis. Could we dance?
Yeah.
We could do dances.
Do dance numbers, but it'd all be recorded live.
Hello, my baby. Hello, my darling. Hello, my ragtime girl.
But I think if we were on a cruise ship, like you do 3 nights a week, you do 3 different types of shows. Like we do this one, we do like maybe a nerdy one. Yeah. And then maybe we do some other kind of like, hey, if you go to this other cruise ship, the activity planners are a little bit better.
I don't know how a nerdy one would play out because I feel like everybody that's on a cruise ship is like over 75.
They've really been like there's like rock cruise ships where it's like a bunch of bands. There's like a wrestling one that's coming out. I think there's a podcast one too, but it's more of like a podcasters go and be like, hey, you should listen to my podcast. Oh, I'll listen to yours if you listen to mine.
Let's trade business cards.
Yeah. And then it's like, their podcast sucks. They'll probably love ours. And they're saying the same thing. But I think it'd be cool. Like, I've never been on a cruise, but again, you get the whole like living. Basically, it'd probably get old after a while, like all these jobs. But you get free food, probably free drinks. If you're working 3 nights a week for even 2 to 3 hours, just doing some kind of like comedy show. I mean, it's basically what we do. You just get up there on stage talking to some mics, and people giggle or they don't. They're probably shit faced. They don't care.
Be like
they
Vegas.
just want to look at 2 people talk. Kind of like Vegas, yeah.
Be a Vegas show.
Oh, it's like Kmart Vegas because they know it's like we're not getting Penn and Teller, we're getting Shawn and Richard.
Bromance in Vegas.
It's like hot dogs. You get what you pay for. Well, Richard, my 7th round money shot pick is just cruise ship entertainers, but we'll do our podcast on a cruise ship.
Unfortunately for you, you picked the shitty cruise ship.
So what are a couple of ant butts that you had?
I had a couple. I had like a person in a focus group.
Okay, yeah.
Like you walk in and they show you like a movie trailer, or they show you an actual movie, or
that'd be good. I like the movie idea.
Yeah,
you get to see movies like you'd get to see the ones that they really wanted to put out, but they didn't because everybody said it sucked.
Yeah, like you watch like a rough cut of a movie and then you sign a bunch of non-disclosure bullshit, and then
like, what do you think of Ben Affleck? I'm like, I think he's a shitty Batman.
So what'd you guys think? You need a different Batman. What are some what I had like 2 other ones. An amusement park ride, dude. Like you test out.
So a carny.
It'd be a carny.
I just imagine just like Joe Dirt with your shirt off.
You like test out amusement park rides.
I gotcha.
I think that'd be okay. Or water slides. You can do that.
Until you get one that's not safe and you fly off and break your neck.
Yeah. But then you're dead. Or paraplegic.
Or both. Wait, what?
I think if you're dead, you are paraplegic because you're not moving shit. Was that about it? I think that was about it. All the other ones were kind of like one-time deals. I feel like sperm donor. I feel like is a one-time kind of thing. Not really a one-time thing, but
that's something I don't really want to make a career out of. Like, I've heard of the dudes that have like 100 kids that's really not their kids. Like, that's just, I don't know. That kind of would weird me out a little bit.
I had bounty hunter, but then I moved that to my very bottom of my list.
Yeah, I had bounty hunter too. Like, that one is like,
because I hear bounty hunter, like when I was a kid, I hear bounty hunter and I'm like, bounty hunters are fucking awesome. Like Boba Fett's a bounty hunter and he's a badass. And now
you realize it's like just getting people for, missing loans, and then they still shoot at you. And
now I hear bounty hunter and I think a dog, and I'm like, no.
He lived in Hawaii though.
Yeah, but he's still dog, the bounty hunter.
It's true. Let's see. For my ambuts, I had a fortune cookie writer. Like, I think that'd be a fun gig. Write a bunch of random
bad luck and extreme misfortune will infest your pathetic soul for all eternity.
Be like, your wife is across the street on the other resort for the other activities. And then I had a professional bed tester. Like, you get to spend a night on beds, testing them out, making sure they're comfortable.
Like, that's your life? You just sleep on a new bed.
Beds.
And then people show up and take your old bed, or take the bed out and then bring a new bed in.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, because they probably wouldn't want you to go there to test it. They probably want to bring it in.
Yeah, so it's like the Princess and the Pea.
Yeah, kind of. All right, well, let me run through these picks real quick. So Richard had movie TV extra, 2nd round pick toy creator, 3rd round pick house sitter, 4th round pick ethical computer hacker, 5th round pick sommelier, 6th round pick anonymous mystery shopper, and 7th round money shot pick voice actor. I like that voice actor one.
Yeah.
All right, for me, for my 1st round pick, I had Cancun Resort Activity Planner, 2nd round pick Wildlife Control Agent, 3rd round pick comic letterer, 4th round pick professional groomsman, 5th round pick feng shui consultant, 6th round pick hot dog vendor for the Bro Dog mobile hot dog machine, and 7th round money shot pick a cruise ship entertainer where we podcast 3 nights a week.
A lot of yours involve doing things that involve vacations.
Yeah. A lot of yours are kind of more creative or more just like hanging out where you're at.
Yeah. A lot of mine just involve me like fucking off and.
All right, Richard. Well, in this odd job draft, what is some Richard closing thoughts?
I guess the only closing thought I have is Ben Affleck was a shitty Batman. I think that's been the running theme. So let's just end it there.
All right. Well, let me do a little bit of housekeeping before Ben Affleck comes and kicks us out. Visit our website. We're at languageofbromance.com. Follow us on Twitter. We're at languageofbro. Email us at eatthebeaver at languageofbromance.com. Check out the LOB Army intelligence reports. Like us on Facebook and go out and recruit somebody for the LOB Army by getting someone you know to subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, Spotify, and Alexa.
And when you're there, be sure to leave a rating and a review because those are so helpful. If you want, maybe there's a job that you leave reviews for podcasts, and if you're one of those people, you should leave a good review for our podcast, and then we'll read it and we'll be like, see, now that's how a professional does it.
Yeah, and this place that we're a part of, the Pod Bros Network, there's no job that you want to leave for this because it is the best podcast site on the internet.
Not odd jobs, but odd people.
Mm-hmm. And if you want to join our LB Army, like our LB Army member Chris, go to our Patreon account. It's www.patreon.com/languageofbromance. Thank you very much, Chris, for being an awesome LOB member.
You're the bestest.
All right, Richard, was there anything else before I close her out?
Nope, and nope.
All right, well, that's all the bromance we have for this show. I'm Shawn.
And I'm Richard.
And I say we eat the beaver. Richard, at Bro Dogs, we always say make sure you eat the fun.
That's a terrible slogan. We need a new one.
Make sure you eat the bro dog. Eat the beaver dog. Yes.
Beaver dog. You nailed it.